Hello everyone, and welcome to another video in my motorcycle road test review and ride. Today I've got for you a 2009 Cagiva Raptor 125. I'm going to be taking the bike on a short road test, giving you my impressions of the bike, any knowledge I have about it, and just so you can see what one of these is like. This Cagiva is styled closely to the Ducati Monster. It looks very similar. It's powered by a 125cc two-stroke engine, which as standard come in a restricted form, but they can be quite easily de-restricted, as this one is. This bike has got a single disc at the front and a single disc at the back. It's got upside down forks, which looks to be non-adjustable. It's got quite big tyres for a 125. It's 110 70/17 at the front and a 160 60/17 at the back. It's small for its small for what it is. It's very light, very nimble. It's got quite a hard seat, and the bars can vibrate quite a lot in your hands, but generally riding they don't vibrate too much. There's no storage under the seat as such. There's just literally a seat. The seat's just a cover for the battery and the electrics. To top up the two-stroke, you lift up the tank, and it's got its own prop. Under there you've got the radiator cap as well. I mean, you lean forward quite a lot on the bars, so I imagine wrists and elbows could be quite painful after a long time in the saddle, and I imagine you get a relatively numb bum as well. Right, we're going to be going to a national speed limit, so I'm going to roll on. You can hear the power band. Oh, that's up to 60. Like I say, this one's been de-restricted, and it gets up to that speed really quite nicely. It's what I would, and a lot of people would think of, it's still a proper two-stroke. I mean, dash setup, there's not a lot to it. It's a single dial with just your speed, with a trip, and your mileage. Well, on this one it's in kilometres. And there's two LED warning lights, one for your side stand, one for your water temperature. Then you've got your standard 5 set of warning lights. You've got your indicator, your oil, neutral light, high beam, and low fuel light. I mean, what do I think of these? They're a very fun little bike. They're very short and narrow, so I mean, the main question with a two-stroke is, are they reliable? This, I've known the bike since the owner first got it 4 or 5 years ago, and in that time, as you can see, the mileage on it is relatively low. It's less than 4,500 kilometres. In the time they've had it, I've had to replace the water pump impeller shaft, which on the Cagiva Rotax, I believe they're Rotax, they may not be, 125 engines, the water pump impeller falls off the shaft. So that was a new shaft, and last year this had to have a new crank as the oil pump stopped working and the engine seized. A normal day-to-day running on this, it's not been too bad, but what you've got to bear in mind is whenever you buy a two-stroke, the engines themselves are relatively fragile. You have to keep on top of them, use good quality two-stroke oil, let them warm up when they're cold, and that should get you a good long life out of them. I mean, this thing is absolute joy to ride. It's a noise of a bygone age, unfortunately. You can hear it still screams. It still goes. And these are a relatively rare bike. You don't see a lot of them about, and that I'd imagine would reflect in the price. I mean, the engine is the same as it's fitted to the Cagiva Mitos, so this is a 6-speed gearbox as opposed to the Mitos 7-speed. So parts for the engine are easy to get hold of. What I'll do, I'll get off, show you around the bike. Okay, looking at the bike, you can see it's a similar silhouette to the Ducati Monster, which I imagine is what they were aiming for when they designed it. You can see the shortness of the bike. Give you a walk around of it. A single headlight. See the single disc, it's got Brembo brakes. And the engine. It's quite a nice banana style swing arm. Standard end can. LED rear lights. And overall, I think it's quite a good looking bike. So, let's get back on and we'll head back. Like a lot of Italian bikes, they seem to insist on having a spring-loaded side stand. This can catch you out if you're unaware. But at least with this, it's light, so you should be able to catch it. Now, going back to the parts availability for one of these, like I was saying, engine wise, it's the same as a 125 Mito, so they are pretty easy to get hold of in the aftermarket or second hand. Hard parts, say brakes, chain and sprockets, tyres, that's all easy enough available. The only problem you'll have is any Raptor specific bits, i.e. the handlebars, the bodywork. Had to get parts for this a year or so ago, and that was about a 6-week wait, and that was, I believe, just for the handlebars. So you can get lucky with parts, but I would allow, if you need to get some, a good amount of time. So I hope this video has been of some interest to you. If you are interested in these, it's hopefully giving you a bit of insight on what they're like and what to look for. So thank you for watching. See you soon.